Hey guys, welcome back to the bookshelf and welcome to the April TBR video. This is one I've been looking forward to because I went to some bookstores, I went to some funky places to find books, the library especially, and I'm excited because we have some nonfiction, none other than the wicked queen herself. Cynthia Erivo has some books. We had some romance, some mystery. So settle in, get a snack, get a Starbucks, get your matcha. You're at school or work, don't tell your boss that we're chatting, and let's get into it. Grace, roll the funky title sequence. If you don't know me, I'm Grace, and I make some lifestyle, some book content. Usually looks a little something like this here. And I make some videos about makeup. We talk about a lot of things on this page. So make sure to follow me at Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you want to watch me and follow along. April is always an important month for reading for me. It's as the semester is winding down. So usually I am feeling into rejuvenation, books about second chances, books with a little hint of mystery, and also books with a big connection to nature. I don't know if it's because I'm a Pisces, but I always have a big connection to trees, grass. Sadly, I have seasonal allergies, so it's kind of like bipolar. Um, because I feel conflicted all the time because I always want to be outside and engaged with nature and touch grass, literally. But sadly, is when I do touch grass, literally, I also suffer physically. So that is why the books about nature are sometimes better than actually being in nature. For me, at least, my fellow seasonal allergy girlies will understand that. Me and Allegra are always in tune with each other. Let's get started. We have quite the stack here. I think it's like 5 or 6 books. I'm like super buff from lifting these guys. You have no idea. So we have some exciting ones. I try to mix it up every month. So we have different genres, different authors, different backgrounds to discover today. But quickly before we get into it, I do want to show you guys something pretty exciting. This is sort of show and tell time now because I made this model bookshelf. It's like Legos, but for people with hyperfixations. You know what I mean? We grew up and then we made this. So it's this bookstore and I made all the furniture myself. It took so long, guys. I was up at 2 a.m. for so many nights making this. And I finally finished every single bit. Look at that. Look at that. It's so detailed. And it turns on and off. So, and it just keeps doing that no matter how many times you smack the button. It's so cool. And I now get to put this on my bookshelf, so I look like a professional book talker, guys. I officially have book-themed decorations. Very exciting. So he can just stay there and chill out while we talk. Talk about the first one, which is by Cynthia Erivo. This is green, and April is about spring, and sometimes the choices for book aesthetics really are that simple for me. And I don't feel like the green cover is an accident, considering that Elphaba is literally green. I feel like that was a design choice that the real ones would get. Simply More, a book for anyone who has been told they're too much. And I think to match the concept of being out there and a little bit wild and crazy and different, she is wearing what appears to be a little Victorian lad outfit, where he likes cheese and porridge, and his name is like Vincent. And she also has these adorable dot eyebrows. Look at that! Very nice. And Cynthia Erivo, I did not actually know who she was before Wicked. I'm sorry. I know. I'm an uncultured swine. We get it. But this is the synopsis. I'll just read it for you real quick. While her face stares at you. So just enjoy that image. It is never too late to start building the life that you're seeking. Cynthia Erivo learned music to Wicked a decade before she needed it, not knowing those same lyrics would change her life. Now she has performed those songs on the world stage, showing us there's always time to keep discovering ourselves and illustrating that it's often the parts of ourselves we are told to bury that make us shine. In a series of powerful personal vignettes, I'm going to pretend that's how that word is pronounced because I don't actually know. despite the fact that I read for a living. I still don't know how to pronounce certain words. Sorry, not sorry. Cynthia reflects on the ways that she has grown as an actor and human and the practices she's learned over years of performing, and she reminds us that we are capable of so much more than we think. We all have hopes and dreams that we want to bring across the finish line. We all falter and take missteps. In this book, Cynthia draws from her experiences running marathons, both real and metaphorical, on stage and on screen, to show how each challenge can help us. She urges us to lean into the wisdom of our bodies, to understand and strive for a physical and mental balance, because when we chase our deepest desires, each small step leads us closer to where we want to go. This is thrilling. I am very excited about this. One of my reading goals for 2026 was to read more nonfiction, specifically memoirs or autobiographies by women, because I have been wanting to learn so much more about people like Bethany Joy Lenz, Britney Spears, Cynthia Erivo, and so I have certain like milestones that I'm hoping to hit this year, reading goal wise. Some of them are just to like finish my TBR, my unread books, to be honest, because it just keeps getting longer. And now I have added nonfiction to it and these books. But hopefully by the end of April, we will have these 5 read, maybe some extra ones. If you guys want me to do an April reading wrap up video of what I actually did get to read, then make sure to give this video a like, and then I shall listen to the audience's feedback. This book is, if you like Wicked, if you like themes of self discovery, a la John Green 2015. I'm just so different, and I'm not like the other girls, but literally, because Elphaba's green, so she's literally not like the other girls, and this is a wonderful representation of that. I have always felt a little bit different. I'm not green, in case you couldn't tell, sort of Pillsbury Doughboy cosplay here, but I have always felt that I've said this on my TikTok so many times before, is that the parts of you that you're often bullied for as a child, like your personality aspects or hobbies or interests, are a lot of times what becomes marketable later on in life. So if you decide to do content and you're really like loud and outspoken, you were always like picked on, or you were the class clown, or people didn't take you seriously, that's actually what sells on TikTok, is being super out there and crazy. People love that. Those videos go viral all the time. And it's learning how to use that in a way that's authentic to yourself, but also fulfilling career wise. And when those two paths converge, you find this strange mental clarity that you are not sidetracked by whatever happens in your career, because you are simultaneously allowing your inner child to like run free and do what it originally wanted to do, but you're also remaining authentic to yourself by pursuing your hobbies and passions, maybe in a way that makes you a nice side income. And I'm always in favor of books that support that, and books that talk about how to do that in a realistic way, because not all of us know, not all of us are taught how to do that. And if you're like parents growing up or caregivers that didn't have super creative backgrounds, sometimes you just don't know. Like my dad's in insurance. So like if you want to know what happens in a car accident, then that's great. But like TikTok monetization, not so much. So these books are really helpful for people that need to know more, like just the basics of that. The next bit of the stack, we are whittling our way through here. We also have some light romance. And when I say light, I mean that I could probably read this with my brain turned off, but in a really good way. And this is the first Sarah Adams book that I've actually gotten. Okay, I may have had this for a year already. Am I proud of that? No. Am I gonna read it? Yes. Will I actually read it? Maybe. But we're gonna make a valiant effort. And this is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. Looks like a little Hallmarky cover. Very excited to see what is behind the chefs here. I did not mistake the fact that they are both wearing purple. Interesting design choice. Wonder if they have more in common besides their clothes. And I'll read you the back now. Sophie Sullivan, author of 10 Rules for Faking It, wrote a recommendation for the book, which is you can always count on a Sarah Adams rom-com to be equal parts funny, sweet, and swoony. When in Rome is a romance you'll want to read again and again. I do love books that I can reread. It kind of saves me money. Opposites certainly attract for a stranded pop star and a small town baker in this charming slice of life romance from Sarah Adams, also author of The Cheat Sheet. Amelia Rose, known as Ray Rose to her adoring fans, is burned out from years of maintaining her princess of pop image. Inspired by her favorite Audrey Hepburn film, Roman Holiday, automatically, girl, I'm gonna love this book because I have Roman Holiday on DVD. I haven't seen it yet, so I might have to make this a companion journey where I read this book and I also watch Roman Holiday. I feel like Amelia Rose and I are gonna be very close already. Um, she drives off in the middle of the night for a break in Rome. Okay, so she has a crazy moment. We can relate to that. Rome, Kentucky, that is. When Noah Walker, okay, that is a little bit Wattpad, the name, Noah Walker, but you know, um, we can't all choose our names, so we'll give him a chance, okay? Finds Amelia on his front lawn in her broken down car. He makes it clear that he doesn't have the time or patience for celebrity problems. He's too busy running the pie shop his grandmother left him and reminding his nosy but lovable neighbors to mind their own business. Despite his better judgment, he lets her stay in his guest room, but only until her car is fixed. Then she's on her own. But Noah starts to see a different side of Ray Rose. He sees the real Amelia, kind-hearted and goofy, yet lonely from years in the public eye. He can't help but get close to her. Soon she'll have to return to her glamorous life on tour, but until then, Noah will show Amelia all the charming small-town experiences she's been missing. And she'll help him open his heart to more. Feels like the author actually wrote the back of the book, like the hook section herself, which sometimes it feels like a publisher spat it out and doesn't feel as authentic to the story. Like it feels like two completely different plot lines. But it really feels like the author included the aspects that meant the most to her. And I'm really excited to see what she does with it because it feels like it plays on the vintage aspects. If you love Audrey Hepburn, then I feel like I'll get some of the inside jokes because I do love Audrey Hepburn. I feel like my hair and makeup and style kind of mimics that era. And I'm so excited to see if I want to read more from Sarah Adams. Now, taking a trip down memory lane to 2009, a girl called Elena Gilbert burst onto the screen. The Damon TikToks were born, okay? Stan Twitter was firing off, but all because of the original vampire book, okay? Before Twilight, before Fallen, before the Mortal Instruments series, there was, in 1991, the book The Vampire Diaries, The Awakening, was released. And it is the predecessor to Twilight, but Twilight gets all the credit for being the main vampire teen book, but actually it's this one. Elena, the golden girl, the leader, the one who can have any boy she wants. Stefan, brooding and mysterious, desperately trying to resist his desire for Elena. Damon, sexy, dangerous, and driven by an urge for revenge against Stefan, the brother who betrayed him. Elena is drawn to both brothers, but she could never guess the truth. Both are vampires, and just being close to them has put her in terrible danger, and it might be too late to escape their love and their fate. And in case you don't know, I'm a huge fan of The Vampire Diaries. I am currently on season 2 now, watching it for the first time. I am Team Damon, but I mostly support Klaus. Because Stefan, I'm so sorry, I know that healthy relationships are like the ideal here. I don't actually think Stefan is that healthy. Controversial, I know. But Stefan really has some red flags that are just buried deeper down. Like he squishes them down under piles of fertilizer, but he's still a problem, okay? Damon's the main one, okay, that everyone thinks is weird, but Stefan has his problems as well, okay? So we're gonna learn more about that in the book. Lena is not as terrible as people made her out to be honest. Everyone said online that she was self-centered and kind of a pick-me, but I think Elena has a lot of pressure on her shoulders to like save her entire family and also the town while keeping this massive secret. Like the psychological stress that she must be under, I have no idea how she deals with that, and also just like goes to history class the next morning. And I think that I will be making a video very soon about how female characters are hated on for being layered and made out to be the villains of the show. Like Belly, Elena, Rory, Gilmore, and they're really not. They're just human and flawed, just like all of us, but they get unnecessary hate compared to the males of the show. The next one, I just found out today online that they are making a movie about this. I picked it up because I love Paris, okay, my inner 2016 elementary school girl aesthetic is coming out for sure, because the Paris aesthetic was everywhere in the early 2010s, and I'm very excited to see what happens in this book. It is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, the #1 New York Times bestseller. Literally never heard of this before I saw it at Barnes& Noble. Sometimes I have very specific niche knowledge of books. If you want to know about the Lynn Painter cinematic universe, I can tell you everything you need to know. For some reason, some bestsellers just escape my knowledge. I have no idea why. Reads Best Historical Novel of the Year, People's Choice Favorite Fiction winner, #1 Indie Next Selection, BuzzFeed Best of the Year, the Wall Street Journal Best of the Year, and the Week Best of the Year. And The Nightingale is a phenomenon that has enthralled a generation of readers. With courage, grace, and powerful insight, best-selling author Kristen Hanna captures the epic panorama of World War II and illuminates an intimate part of history seldom seen: the Women's War. The Nightingale tells the stories of two sisters separated by years and experience, by ideals, passion, and circumstance, each embarking on her own dangerous path towards survival, love, and freedom in German-occupied, war-torn France. A heartbreakingly beautiful novel that celebrates the resilience of the human spirit and the durability of women. It is a novel for everyone and a novel for a lifetime. I grew up a huge history buff, so I was the weird 8-year-old in the public library reading graphic war books for adults. That was me, the 8-year-old sitting there with like a stack of textbooks about World War II. That was me. So the inner 8-year-old Grace is very excited about this book and a few other war books that I've been meaning to get to, and like crime dramas. So this one I may read first. We don't know. We'll find out. I plan on doing like Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo on March 31st just to see which one is up first. But I have seen a few of Kristen Hanna's books before, and I've read excerpts online. She seems very talented with the dialogue, so I will be posting for sure about this on my Instagram stories. Something else that's really important about war books in today's world is that there's a lot of erasure going on with history. People are saying that World War II didn't happen, the Holocaust didn't happen, COVID didn't happen, it was all fake and made up, and it absolutely was not. It was major historical events that defined the rest of the world to come and how we approach literature and art and humanity and conflicts and territorial boundaries between countries. This is a massively important time to be reading books about history and what actually happened 80, 100, 200 years ago. Because people say history is written by the winners, well, also the readers, because those who know about history are the ones who recognize patterns, and they recognize when that which has happened before is happening again. And especially with AI writing a lot of content online, it is very easy for misinformation to be passed around in this day and age. So make sure to read up on your World War II history, guys. It is perhaps one of the major education points that people are missing today. And the last book on the April TBR, bit of a different vein, this one's mystery, is The Mysterious Bakery on Rue de Paris by Evie Woods. She's one of my favorite mystery authors. Her book, The Story Collector, was like one of my top books of 2024. Loved it. And she is a million-copy best-selling author of The Lost Bookshop, nestled among the cobblestone streets of Compiègne. I'm going to think that's what the name is. There existed a bakery unlike any other. Rumors were whispered through the town that its pastries offered a taste of magic, chasing away the darkest of sorrows. Just one bite of a croissant might bring luck, unlock a precious memory, or reveal hidden longings. For Edie Lane, a recipe for disaster doesn't require that many ingredients. Take an unhealthy amount of wishful thinking and a sprinkle of desperation, and that's how Edie left everything behind in Ireland for her dream job at a bakery in Paris. Except the bakery isn't in Paris, and neither is Edie. This might not be where Edie intended to be, but she soon realizes it's exactly where she needs to be. We have some American Girl Grace Stirs Up Success continuation. I don't know if these references are too niche, but I think maybe 3 people will get that reference that I just made, and if you do, then congratulations, because no one else does. But I love Evie Woods. I'm so excited to see what she has coming next. And I've seen her new book at Barnes & Noble, but I still haven't read this one. So I need to catch up really quick so I can also review that one. And that is the April list, guys. That is what I'm going to be reading over the next month. So make sure to follow along on my Instagram, YouTube, TikTok to see what I think of the Cynthia Erivo book, the Vampire Diaries, mystery, nonfiction, everything. And I'll be keeping y'all posted. And I'm so excited to get started on this. March was a very exciting month for me book-wise. April is bound to just be better and better. And make sure to subscribe and like the video so it gets shared around. More people can find me and you, and we can all be best friends. And thank you so much for watching. I had a great time filming it, great time compiling books for April, and I will see you next time. Bye!